stop being lazy. Yeah. And I became creative. Yeah. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come here.
Welcome back to the Silverliner QuickSilver reaction after the Falcons Week 6 victory. 20 what was the final score? 24-14 over the Buffalo Bills at home.
I'm swagging, sir. Now I mean service. Hey,
Look here, brother.
Hey, it's October.
Exciting stuff. Oh, wait, my camera delayed. Hold on. Let's see if I can fix that. Is that looking any better?
A little
better. But all right. Look, so the Falcons won. Bijan Robinson went crazy, had 238 all-purpose yards. Drake London went crazy. He had 10 catches for 158 yards and a tutty. Right? Bijan with 170 yards on the ground with a touchdown, and then another 68 in the air. Falcons went crazy in that first half, was able to hang on and get that victory. Also, important things to note, the Falcons got tons of pressure on Josh Allen. The Falcons held the Bills to 14 points, 1 touchdown on the opening drive of each half. Afterwards, the Bills had problems on every drive. They could not consistently get their run game going. Look, I love when a game plays out in a way where all the shit that we said beforehand that could have made us look real stupid if the Falcons went out there and played like they did against Carolina. And then it played out that way. And it was like, yeah, what I think the thumbnail for the last video was all the Falcons need the Falcons to eat their buffalo wings or whatever, something about that. I said it was Bijan mustard and Zach sauce. All right. And I meant to respond to this. I didn't realize so many people responded to the thumbnail that we posted about it, but somebody out there was like, mustard with wings. That's disgusting. I was like, well, nigga, you eat honey mustard with wings, don't you? All right, then it's Bijan mustard.
I'm saying, baby. I'm saying.
You feel me?
Why you nitpicking?
We got a healthy dose of that tonight.
A healthy dose, man. Got that plate
like,
loaded up.
Look, before we get into all of it, right? I think we got to start out with game balls. Go ahead and give out your game balls, Cam. Oh, we didn't even introduce ourselves. We just got straight into it. We're super excited for the Falcons victory. So I'm Sterlington. This is Cameron. If you don't already know us, I assume that if you're watching this, you've probably seen this a few times and you're like, yep, ready to celebrate with the homies because now the Falcons winning. But let's give out game balls. Go ahead and give out some game balls, Cam.
Hey, first and foremost, we have to give the game ball to our MVP candidate, the best player on our offense. What'd you say, 236 all-purpose yards? Ooh.
Hey, short on the 2 yards.
Oh, my God. I got to give the first game ball to Bijan Robinson. Oh,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Another game ball to give out. Drake London.
Absolutely.
Hands on 10 balls. Had 158 yards. The Bills could not stop this man in the first half. And even with the second half, I think that was honestly more of a result of the play calling to protect the fact that, we had 2 backup tackles in. You know what I'm saying? And I was wondering if is Storm Norton not back yet? Did I miss something? Because Storm Norton's your swing tackle. He comes in on both sides. And that is not who they put out there. They put out Michael Jarrell, who oddly enough is actually one of the guys that we acquired right before the season when, Caleb McGarry went down and it was like, all right, we need to get some bodies in that tackle. Michael Jarrell was the guy who used to play for the Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't even have camp with us. And, I'm not going to say he was locked down or anything, but, the coach knew, Zach Robinson knew what he had, and he coached around it. Give us another game ball, Cam.
I'm going to give one to Zach Robinson, man. Hey, this offense was hampered. Hey, Jake Matthews went down with an ankle. We didn't have Ray Ray. We didn't have Darnell Mooney. We essentially, our offense was a two-headed monster. It was Drake London and Bijan Robinson. And we had Michael Penix Jr. orchestrating. And it worked to perfection. Our game plan was to run the ball and hit those throws. And like we said in the previous episode, hey, Michael Penix Jr. had to hit the intermediate throws.
Yep.
And he hit those. Granted, he did get lucky with a couple close throws that went our way in the sense that they didn't get intercepted. So they were kind of batted down. So hey, we had some things kind of falling our way. But aside from that,
what quarterback don't?
What quarterback doesn't?
What quarterback doesn't?
Hey, even Tom Brady had the tuck rule. So things have to fall your way, and things fell our way tonight.
You didn't got to go back to that. You didn't go back to Brady. Go back to fucking week 1. Yeah, how many hands did we get on Baker Mayfield ball?
Yeah.
Pause. But how many hands ended up that could have picked a pass off that did not? You know what I'm saying? It happens. It's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, you don't want to see a consistent diet of that because the law of averages says the more it happens, the more likely you are to get a bad result from that. Mm-hmm. Right? So, law of averages, you don't want to see that. But yeah, same thing. Game ball. Speaking of coordinators deserving of game balls, I think you know where I'm going with this. I think everybody in watching this know I'm going with this. Go ahead, let's give a big round of applause to Jeff Ulbrich coming to Atlanta, turning this damn defense around. He came here. This is his toughest test to date. He's going against a team that has not scored less than 20 all year. A top 5
with the reigning MVP.
With the reigning MVP. And they did the things that we thought they could do. We said, they don't really have a number 1 receiver, right? I don't look at Khalil Shakir. I know he's good. I know Keon Coleman is good, all of that. None of them dudes are better than Justin Jefferson. And that's the guy we played this year. All right. Honestly, no, none of those guys are better than Mike Evans, who I don't think, did we play Mike Evans this year or was he hurt? He was hurt, right?
He played.
It was Chris Godwin who was hurt. They ain't better than Mike Evans or seemingly Emeka Egbuka.
I'd have to agree, man. I said it in the previous podcast. I'd say Khalil Shakir is closer to Darnell Mooney than he is to like a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson.
That's what we said. We said, hey, we can play man against with AJ Terrell, man. We can absolutely play man. We just got to make sure we keep an eye on Josh. Josh, he had some runs, especially, at the end of the 4th where he had that one real long run where they got out of bounds. But it was like, nah, we did exactly what we were supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And even on the drives where the Bills scored, they really kind of had to get in their bag for that. Let me tell you when I knew the game was over. When I knew it was over for real, right? Because, obviously it's fun. And I'm not going to say I knew it was over at some early point in the game. But when I started calming down, because all right, let's be real. We was holding our breath the whole game as Falcons fans, because what I started to realize was I wasn't even fearful of us losing tonight. I was fearful of being embarrassed.
Whew, yes.
That's what I was. Once the first half went by, I'm like, all right, we ain't getting blown out, but we got a lead. The one thing I do not want to see is us get this lead and then smoke it at the end.
And lose it in an embarrassing fashion. That's what you don't want.
And national TV for everybody to see. That's the one thing I didn't want to see. But when them boys, when they got the ball back and they ran a hook and ladder for a first down, I said, oh, bro, they don't believe in shit. They don't believe in any of these receivers. They don't think they can really do anything with us. That is a sign. I'm like, when you running a trick play, when you running a flea flicker or hook and ladder or something, and you getting a touchdown out of it, that's one thing. You running a hook and ladder for a second down, first down? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? A 4th down, first down. All right, fine. Hey, got to do what you got to do to, in the situation, make a play. Homeboys ran a hook and ladder on second down for a first down. I'm like, man, get these bozos out of here, man. Let's get these bums off the field. I knew it was over there. Another thing too, that we said, which needed to be pointed out, was that when we looked at the schedule, right? I looked at who we played. You know, the Bucks looking damn fine right now. That was one of our, on the back half of one of our worst games in terms of like, where the offense was, right? Zach Robinson was still up there. Still had Ike Hilliard. Whether he was making them better or worse, we don't know for sure. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about things that hadn't changed up until that point, right? So we still had a lot of things that we were working out with our own offense. And, that was a close game. And honestly, if Koo makes that field goal, who knows how that game ends. But, ultimately, that's a loss on us. That's the Bucks. We played the Bucks. The Vikings, they've been up and down. We got the JJ McCarthy Vikings, so they kind of was kind of mid. We seen over the last few weeks that the Panthers, they woke up, before the season started. We said the Panthers could kind of be a player a little bit. Still don't know if they are. They capitalized on us at our worst moment. They beat up on Miami, beat up on the Cowboys. Miami and Dallas have putrid defenses, but they're back at 500. First time they've been at 500 for the last 4 years.
Hey, man, I'm trying to tell people, dude, this has been a very competitive year in the sense that we don't know who's going to be crowned, who's going to be at the top at the end of it, man. It could be Philly. It could be the Chiefs.
Look,
it's one of those years where any dog can get it, man.
I tell people this is when I went on a sidetrack, completely lost my place last week. I tend to do that, y'all. I'm sorry. I swear. Y'all be listening. Y'all be like, oh, boy, he about to make this good point. They be like, damn, Sterling never got back to it. He just kept going off on his own thing. When I was bringing up the Chiefs and who won last night, so, I said that the Chiefs could still pull it together. I don't know about the Ravens. I think the Bills might be a little overrated. I think we're starting to see a little bit of a changing of the guard, maybe not like permanently, but I'm starting to see that there's a resetting, right? The teams that's the normal teams that you just look at and say that's a title contending team, right? That's a team that's going to be competing at least for their conference title, right? I'm like, a little shaky this year. And then a lot of them teams that those teams would normally whoop up on to get these, these basically buys straight to the playoffs. A lot of those teams, they looking a lot better. You know what I'm saying? And same thing in the NFC. The Eagles looking a little shaky. And really, who else in the NFC would you even say like that? I don't know. But my thing is, like you said, everybody can get it this year. We looked at the Bills as a team that, we said, hey, if you're a bad team, the Bills gonna let you know it. They turn into a chainsaw or a buzzsaw, and they carve bad teams up. But what we saw when we looked at the schedule and looked at how they played and looked at what we saw, because, they got a lot of primetime games this year. I know I saw a team that I said, this team, the first time they faced a team with some spine in the Patriots, they lost. Now, it was a close game. And, you saying, oh, they got turnovers. You can't live on that. But I'm like, well, how we know? That's the first team they played that got a spine, right? And so I went into this game thinking that we had a spine, right? And what do you know? They come on the road to Atlanta. They face the number one defense by yardage, top 2 pass defense in the league, and they score 14 points. Josh Allen is under 200 yards passing. He has 2 turnovers, 2 picks, right? And I honestly, when you take your emotions out of it, because, when you're a Falcons fan, you always think you're about to lose. And you take your emotions out of it, this game was pretty much under control by the Falcons the whole time.
Oh my God, yes. We had 2 picks, turnover on downs. We were a toe tap away from scoring right before the half with that Drake play. Like, things were really going our way. Like, as a Falcons fan, you definitely want to hold your breath. You definitely want to have like a little bit of caution, like, are we about to get kicked? Are we about to get punched in the nuts right now?
Yeah, you definitely get your hands over your boys.
Yeah, is the nut punch coming? But it didn't come. Oh my God. And credit to Raheem. We gotta give another game ball. Hey,
Yep.
The
I'm
Atlanta
so glad you
Falcons.
did it.
The Atlanta Falcons are 8-1 in our last 9 Monday Night Football games. The only team with a better record than us are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are 12-1 as well.
Hey.
We are proving that we show up in prime time. I am absolutely loving that.
You ready to hit us too? Speaking of prime time. So under Raheem specifically, under the last 2 years, we're 5-2 in primetime games with Raheem as the coach. The only losses were last year when we lost that close home game
to the Chiefs. And then the Sunday night game to Washington,
which was Michael Penix Jr.'s second start. Right?
Oh
and
my
that game
goodness.
went to overtime, and the Chiefs game was really some bullshit because we should have scored at least got a go-ahead touchdown to Pitts, but they just completely neglected to call a pretty obvious pass interference.
Hey, right? I ain't gonna hold you, big dog. I don't want to get too far ahead, but hey, we got Sunday. We gotta have another primetime game coming up this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah, it's another very winnable game too.
Another good game too. Another prove it game. A game we have to win.
Yeah. Now that game, to me, that game is gonna be a little harder. Mainly because I do have one concern. All right. And
Kyle Shanahan's a phenomenal offensive play caller.
Huh?
Kyle Shanahan's a phenomenal offensive play caller.
No, fuck that. I'm not worried about that. Look, I don't know if we a home team or not. Now we beat the Vikings on the road, but that was still one of our that was one of our offensive games that left us lacking a little bit, right? And I don't think Michael Penix Jr. has one win as a starter on the road, and that was against the Vikings.
Correct.
Against JJ McCarthy. Now we're gonna go over into San Francisco, and I feel like they're gonna put a little pressure on us. The one thing that we get is that the Bills are a team that travel well. Yeah, tonight I could hear the Bills fans on the TV. I could hear the Bills fans on the TV. I could tell that, okay, this is a home game, but it's a road game a little bit too. Right. But this was a team that, we saw the Falcons, we seen one, this is the second game we've seen after that beating they took in Carolina. And we've seen that, they like Undertaker. How Undertaker, he lay down and then he just sit up. That's how these boys are. Them boys, hey, they left us for dead. They left us for dead against the Panthers. We was disappointed too. We knew some changes needed to happen. But one thing that I can tell is absolutely affecting the offense is having Zach Robinson on the sideline, right?
Oh, absolutely, man. It seems like the receivers and Michael Penix are on the same page. Things are just meshing better. Oh my goodness, man.
He's absolutely getting the play in faster, right? That is 1,000% happening. I've noted. I don't think over the last 2 games we've had a single delay of game penalty. We had at least one delay of game or a sequence where we called a timeout, to prevent a delay of game in both. In all 3 of the starting games, in all 3, and then you move Zach to the sideline. That's immediately not an issue. And when you got a young quarterback, that shit matters, right? Because Zach Robinson, he was in the booth last year. Didn't really have that problem with Kirk. They had some times where they had timing issues and XYZ issues, but Kirk is a pro. Kirk is an adult. Kirk know how to, handle, okay, the communication getting a little late. I get everybody lined up quick because he already got that mental clock that say, hey, we need to be here, here, and here by this time. And we need to make sure that, we all lined up so that we can get this motions in motion before we snap the ball. But Penix is a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Everything don't feel quite as fast to him. But, look, for the most part, I would say Penix was super accurate. Got a shout out. Hell, I guess I'm giving you know what? Screw it. I'm giving the O-line, all of them, all of the O-line a game ball. All right. Anytime you rush for the amount of yards, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they rushed for over 200 because Bijan had 170. Tyler Algier scored a touchdown, in case you forgot.
Oh, absolutely,
You
baby.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, baby.
Another good one, another Tyler Algier special where he break a tackle in the backfield because it looked like somebody about to get him in the backfield, and
Oh my
then just
God, dude,
casually runs a guy over into on the way to the end zone.
that last drive to get that field goal that really iced this game. Oh,
Ooh.
oh my God.
Algier, boy, I'm telling you, man, that dude, he is a great at falling forward and getting that first down that he got. The one going to the sideline and then
Lunging forward, yeah,
yeah,
man.
left 2 minutes, 2:21 on the clock. But that could have put you in a tight situation, but Algier knew where the first down was. He had that awareness. And also another thing I want to shout out, back-to-back games where when you gotta have a drive to ice the game, you saw the Falcons go on 5+ minute drives to milk that clock, put some points on the board, make it a 2-score game, put the other team out of reach to win the game.
Almost is like the game went exactly how Raheem said the season was gonna go.
Yeah.
Like our defense is gonna be good enough to make these stops because our offense has a lead. Oh my God, is Raheem a prophet? Is he
Hey,
a
you
prophet?
know what? Hey, sometimes you got to call your shot and you gonna make it in. You shoot your shot and you make it in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me ask you this, big dog. Who on the defense you giving a game ball to, baby?
Oh boy. Man, I could realistically give a game ball to Caden Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
I could give a game ball to AJ Terrell. He had a couple holding calls. But he made a more than a few clutch pass breakups. Um, who else could I give one to?
Mike Hughes had a decent game.
I
Like
ain't
there was
gonna
a
lie, I wasn't sure if I wanted to shout him out, but I felt like I almost did feel compelled to because he got caught a little bit early, but he buckled the fuck down.
That's the thing. That's the thing. He not quite game ball worthy, but I like his ability to overcome getting picked on a little bit and to be able to make some key defensive plays after that. I was impressed. I was impressed by Mike Hughes.
I also feel like I gotta give a game ball just to. I don't know who I need to give the game ball to for the pressure because we did it multiple ways. We
Oh, it
got
was a
pressure
group
with
effort.
4.
It was
We
a
got
group
pressure with
effort.
5. We got pressure with 6.
We got either
Oh,
with Devon Diablo played well, Jalen Carter, James Pierce Jr.
I got
Oh,
a name for you that I do need to give a game ball to, and I'm so happy to get the chance to give this person a game ball because Lord knows, boy, we was ragging on him hard. We was ragging on him hard. I'm talking about number 20, former CFL cornerback D. Alford.
I knew that's what he's about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, boy, give that boy D. Alford the game ball. He got a pick, and I think he almost got a sack. He got a serious pressure that forced an incompletion, and I'm like, yo.
Oh my God, man. Arnold Ebiketie as well played
Arnold
well.
Ebiketie, he had some clutch plays. And look, real talk, man. Look, when you talk about how they rushing, another reason why I was like, I think I got to give the whole D line a game ball is because when you talk about rushing with integrity,
Rushing
and
with
they run lanes.
intent, not just
No,
rushing for the fuck of it. Oh yeah, we're gonna send 5, we're gonna send 6. We're getting home. We're
no, but when I say
creating
rush with
pressure.
integrity, how many plays did you feel like Josh Allen, he broke out or forced a missed tackle and then ran where the guy who missed the tackle was supposed to be, and then he wide open because everybody else ran out of their lane?
Hey,
You didn't see any of those, right?
one thing as a team, hey, we said that was going to be a key factor in this game in the
Yes.
preview. We said it was
Yes.
going to be a key factor in the game in the preview, and guess what? We addressed it, baby. I got to give another game ball to Raheem and Jeff.
Yeah, man. Like, you know that was the plan. These guys said like they knew everything they needed to do. And I'm like, look, with teams like the Bills, you know, that's a team that could be a scary team. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, yo, man, this team, it's just a team, you know what the book is on offense. You know what I'm saying? Don't let Josh go crazy. Don't let anybody else get involved. Ain't no way you should be out here getting your secondary whooped by Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman. Who the hell else they got out receiving? I forget.
Josh
Curtis
Palmer,
Samuel
but he
didn't
kind of
play.
got
So
banged up a bit. He didn't
Josh
return to
Palmer,
the
yeah, that's
game.
right. And Curtis Samuel didn't play tonight. So I'm just like, look, if you want to be a good football team, you got to be able to cover those guys. It just ain't no way you about to convince me that you think you a good football team if you can't cover Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman and at least, put up enough points to make them lose the thing that make those guys special, which is that they're very versatile when they're on offense. They came out of the second half and they ran the hell out the ball against us. And I was getting a little nervous because I was like, going into halftime, I immediately had the thought in my head. I said, all right, we already know the Bills are going to score a touchdown right out of half. You know what I'm saying? That's what good teams do. They try to respond, right? So, we had them on the ropes. We was hitting them in the chin. And they going to, come out fired up. They're going to put together their best drive and they're going to get a touchdown, make it a one-score game. But I'm like, man, what we going to do after that? That's really what it comes down to. And then, afterwards we had a 3 and out immediately. And I'm like, y'all, come on, y'all boys. Y'all can do it, man. Just get a stop. Just get a stop. And lo and behold, goddamn hold. Them boys stopped them every drive for the rest of the night.
Hey, I want to say this. We kind of got to give us. I don't know if you want to give him a game ball, but I'll just say this. The last 2 draft classes are slowly coming to fruition, baby. Because I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to lie to
Go
y'all.
ahead, give him that game ball. Put a tie on it.
We talk a lot of shit and have talked a lot of shit about Terry and some of his decision making, brother.
We sure have.
We have, and we have given him credit when he's made some decisions that we fucked with, and we have also thrown the book at his ass when he made some decisions we don't like.
Sure have.
The thing about the NFL is, especially on the defensive side of the ball, unlike the offense, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for players to develop. And now I think we've had like 3 defensive coordinators, maybe 4 in the last, like pretty much a new defensive coordinator every year up until now.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think any of them have been here.
None of them have really none of them have stuck. So it's been a new DC guy after new DC guy. But hey, we got guys.
Hey, hold on, did Dean Pease at least last 2 years? Damn, Dean Pease gave us 2, right?
I want to say Dean Pease gave us 1, and then he got hurt.
I think it was 2 with Dean Pease, and then he retired, and then it was Ryan Nielsen.
I thought it was. You could be right, but I thought it was 1 with Dean. He got hurt, retired, and then we went to Ryan Nielsen. But I could be incorrect. He may have.
So I know for a fact Ryan Nielsen was there. Right. He was there at Arthur Smith's last year. I knew that one for a fact because.
Then he gave us 2 then, because Arthur Smith was there for 3. Yeah. Then I want to say Dean gave us 2. I guess he gave us 2.
I think Dean gave us 2. And then it was Nielsen. Then it was Lake. And now. So we on our 4th defensive coordinator in 4 years.
And he is making the most out of these guys. Like Jeff Ulbrich has said it himself. We don't really have any world beaters, at least right now. James Pierce Jr. could develop into one. Jalen Carter could develop into one as well. The book isn't written on them yet. But as of right now, we don't have a true thoroughbred. We don't have a true workhorse. We don't have a true number 1 guy. But what we got bodies. We got multiple bodies. We can send platoons at guys. We got fresh legs that we can continue to send at people, continue to develop and send pressures. Hey, we are making the most of what we have. And what we have on a defensive line is depth. And I like how we're taking advantage of that.
Hey, look, he ain't got no workhorse pass rusher, but I'm like, hey, that's because all the horses on offense. Your job is to make sure. Although, no. I'm not even going to denigrate the defense like that. I was about to say your job just to make sure you hanging on and not blowing it for the offense. But you know what? No, I'm not going to say that because the defense has showed up pretty much every game this year.
Oh, the second half of that game, the second half of this game, the defense set the tempo.
Well, we got 3 wins this year, and really, you could say the defense kind of directly responsible for 2 of them, including this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought we were gonna hold the Bills in check. I think even I still gave the Bills 24 points. I said,
because of the Josh Allen and the Josh effect. He's a former MVP.
Exactly. I was like, if you take Josh Allen out, I think we could even we might could have blanked that team or held them to 10. I ain't gonna say we have blanked them.
Yeah.
We'll give up that one drive where they put all they plays. So I'm like, we could have held them to 10 or something. But I'm like, man, for them to have, Josh Allen playing, that clearly be the best quarterback you played all year.
Hey,
And you hold them to that. And look, let's be real. This is things that I talk about when I talk about the defense, why they deserve credit, right? So the offense cooked in the second half. But in the first half, we scored 3 points for the rest of the game.
The Bills defense is nothing without their star guys. They have Matt Milano, who didn't play. They have Ed Oliver, who had a pretty solid game. They had AJ Espinosa, who played pretty solid as well. And is it Nick or Joey?
Secondary, like
is it Nick or Joey? Is Nick Bosa?
Joey, yeah.
Joey Bosa.
Nick's the younger one.
And then Joey Bosa, who had a solid, aside from their stars,
and Greg Rousseau,
can be had.
Right.
And they were missing one.
Though, we put that's why you like. There's so many things people you want to acknowledge in this, because if you just be real about opportunities that we missed, right? Because the missed opportunities happen in a football game. Both teams missed opportunities, right? But you talk about missed opportunities we had. We got a pick with like 10 seconds before half. That's already points you weren't accounting for.
And then we almost scored. We were a toe tap away from going up 28-7 at half.
I'm saying we could have scored 3. We could have scored 7. We scored 0. And then there was another part where Rousseau blocked an extremely low field goal that had no business being that low. I'm like, damn, you hit him in the pit. He didn't even catch him by the fingertips. How low you going to kick that ball?
And truth be told, all honesty, it's probably for the best that it got blocked, because I looked at the trajectory. He was going to miss that. That was
for the best. He should have been better off missing it. Them could have took that shit back to the house. If you miss, at least you miss, and they just get the ball where they get it. But like
I was thinking more about his confidence, his psyche. Hey, a block don't count the same as a miss.
Maybe, but I don't know. I don't understand why he was about to blow that short kick. And that's something that I am a little concerned about going forward. I don't want to have to like hold my breath every time a game come down to a kick.
Same, dude. But
especially because we ain't used to that for real.
We're spoiled.
That's relatively new for us.
As a Falcons fan, we are spoiled in that regards. We have always had good kickers. Always had kickers. We're like, game on the line, we gotta make a kick.
And I'll see you next week. It's like one of them kicks that take all of the suspense out of it. That has not been the case the last couple of years, man. And so I'm looking at that. That's immediately, though, when you talk about the field goal, and you talk about the end of half, that's between 6 and 10 points that you just left on the table right there as an offense.
Oh, the offense absolutely left some meat on the bone.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got lucky that they were offsides on that first play, because on the first play from scrimmage, there was a fumble. But little did they know, and we know, and everybody else in between know, that was not an indicator of how this night was going to go.
Oh, my goodness, man. Oh, it felt so good because one of my best friends is a Buffalo Bills fan. It felt so good to go be in that group chat, just talking my mess. Drake! Drake! Yeah, I was talking that trash, baby.
Drake has some sweet plays. I really wanted Drake to score in that one, because let me tell you 2 things I want to say, make sure I say before we get out of here, because it's 6 minutes left. So 2 of the things I wanted to point out is just things I thought about, right? I thought about Drake almost scoring that before the half, and I'm like, damn, Brad, sometimes when you got the opportunity to go for it, like, the question is, should you have gotten down and just call that timeout, or should you try to score? And I'm like, fuck that, you got to score. Because I go back to immediately think about the Minnesota Miracle, the Minnesota against the Saints, when Stephon Diggs caught the pass against the sideline and saw nobody and kept running and scored the touchdown. I'm like, hey, man, look, you can always miss a kick. You can always miss a kick. If you got a chance to get 7, go ahead and get that 7, boy. Go ahead.
Morgan was a toe tap away from getting it too. See, that's the thing. In that play, people, just go for the kick. No, in that situation, after he missed that initial tackle, you almost got that. You got that breakaway. You got to go for it.
And you got to go for it. Drake probably kicking himself, because when he go back and watch the tape, he gonna see that he could have dove and still made it. It wasn't that he came up short. His toe touched down out of bounds. He was like, oh my God, I could have just like dove out, feet off the ground, and I would have scored. But hey, look, hopefully he learned the same lesson that Bijan learned. Bijan, he had a 69-yard play. He got caught. This time Bijan was taking no prisoners and was not taking no for an answer. He broke that play. Somebody was about to get him. I can't remember who got him, but he shook that shit off, kept both feet in bounds. That's just how amazing Bijan is. That's called contact balance. Everybody can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You'll see guys who have 80-yard runs, who got more explosive runs to Bijan, but the ability to like just maintain your upright posture and balance through contact on the sideline when all the guy got to do is just like kind of push you to the perimeter and out of bounds and you stay in bounds. And that's the difference between that play being, a 20-yard play, and that's a good game, versus the 81-yard career-long touchdown. You know what I'm saying? It's little things like that show how great he was. And I just love seeing him for Bijan to be on, national TV and really get to show what we get to see as fans on a weekly basis. Just like this dude has some of the most exciting, 6 to 10-yard runs you'll ever see. You know what I'm saying? But another thing that I want to point out with how we chose to end this game, kind of how we chose to end the last game, and something that I noticed the Chargers do against the Chiefs in the second game of the NFL season that was on Friday, right? It was on the Friday that was after the Eagles-Cowboys game, right? I noticed that at the end of that game, when it was close, rather than turning around and just handing the ball off, they were throwing it. They were throwing it every down. First down, second down. They were just like, You know why? Because they sitting there with 8 in the box. They doing everything ready to stop the run. We about to throw this damn ball.
And that's what I was actually cool with some of those screens, because he wasn't really throwing them a lot. But that last drive, he threw a couple of those screens out there, and I was like, you know what? It's kind of still a running play.
No, it was those, but we had a couple plays where they threw it downfield. I mean, not downfield, but they threw it a little. You know what I'm saying? They hit Drake on some slants, and they hit some in breaking routes, and you know what I'm saying. And I'm like, that's I think that might be kind of some new wave shit. That might be like a new meta that you see a lot of teams doing, because it's just hard to look at all of those teams, squatting on the ball, trying to put 8 in the box, doing everything to show you that they're stopping the run, and then you just run into it like an idiot, right? It's like, no, we just got to throw the ball. Maybe we're putting the ball in danger, but are we? The odds in our favor. You know what I'm saying? And I really enjoyed seeing the Falcons be ahead of the curve in that way. They said, hey, we like the alignment that they in the throw. We about to throw, and we about to do whatever it takes to get first downs and put this game away. Well, I think we kind of went over mostly everything. I'm pretty much super excited this Monday night. Well, no, I think we both predicted a victory, and to be honest, I kind of meant it, so I'm not gonna say didn't expect that, but just super pumped regardless of what I expected.
Oh my God, yes,
Falcons
dude.
victory.
Coming off a bye, looking prepared, didn't embarrass us, got the win in prime time, and then we got another prime time game next week. Hey, I can't wait for the water cooler talk tomorrow, baby.
Hey, brother. And look, for the first time in 2025, the Atlanta Falcons are over 500.
Yes, sir.
That's right. So we got a long season to go. That 30-0 loss against the Panthers is real far back in the rearview mirror. But right now, that's exactly where it is. It's in the rear view, and we need to keep our eyes going forward. Next game, we're going to San Fran, and we're about to take on the 49ers and our old buddy Kyle. And, looking forward to catching up with you guys and seeing what we got to say about that game and anything else we got to say about this game. So, Cam, anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
It's been a pleasure, baby. I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight.
Boy, sleep like a winning baby. Let me tell you that much. All right, you guys know what to do, man. Go ahead, catch us over at X. We're going to post it here and post it on YouTube. We had the AG Line 91 at X.com. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the little bell when we want to hear some real niggas uploading. Peace.